Hey, welcome to this week's episode of M3, where we take a moment each week to talk about everyday things, but from a biblical perspective. And today we're going to conclude our series on forgiveness. And while we haven't had the opportunity to talk about everything that relates to the forgiveness process, I hope that over the past few weeks, we've given you something that can help you to begin the process. So today, I want to address three final questions as it relates to forgiveness. Here's the first one. What if someone won't forgive us? Forgiveness is a personal thing. Yes, it's about the other person, but it's more so about us as well. And when we think about the words of Jesus from Matthew chapter 5, Jesus tells us that if someone has something against us, or vice versa, then we have to go to them and seek forgiveness. Remember, even though he tells us to reconcile with one another, that's another part. We have to get past step one first, and that's forgiveness. And the implication of Jesus's words is that how can we be spiritually whole when we're still broken by unforgiveness? Um, and you may be thinking, okay, well, I've tried and I've asked this person to forgive me and all this, that, and the other, right? Well, I want you to be encouraged that because you went to someone and sought their forgiveness, you've done your part. I mean, you've gone, you've asked all the questions, you've done all of those things. So if you are a believer in Christ and wants to follow, want to follow the words that He shared with us, going to that person is the right thing to do. But there's another side of that before I move on. As tempting as it may be to have peace in your life, don't belittle yourself by begging someone to forgive you over and over and over when you've already asked them with a sincere heart to forgive you. When we do this, all that does is leads to self-condemnation, and then we're forfeiting our control to someone else. Because go back and listen to a few sessions ago. Remember, someone will use shame, manipulation, control, all of those things in the forgiveness process if we let them. But here's the thing about it: their intent is not to forgive, not at that moment. Here's the second thing: what if we can't forgive ourselves? And this can be hard to do for some people. Because some of the things that we may have done, we just think that, oh, they were so godly awful. How can I ever get beyond this? How can I ever forgive myself? How do I move on? But the thing we have to recognize again, if we are believers, once we have confessed those things to the Lord and we believe that He's forgiven us, why would we continue to condemn ourselves, right? When we condemn ourselves, what we're saying in essence is that God's grace is not sufficient and that Jesus' sacrifice was not good enough. But think about this: when self condemnation blocks the forgiveness process, God is never the problem. It's either us or somebody that we're seeking forgiveness from. Finally, here's the third thing: how do I know if I've really forgiven someone? Or how do I know if somebody has really forgiven me, or even if I've forgiven myself? There are three things I want us to consider as I wrap this up, right? Remember, forgiveness is a process, and we may need to repeat that process over and over. All right. So again, how do I know when forgiveness is has finally run its course, right? First thing, right? Don't bring up the offense to the person that offended us. And if they have forgiven, they won't bring up to us either. In other words, it's done. It's finished. We're not going to talk about that anymore. We're going to move forward. We are truly going to begin the healing process. Number two, don't bring up the offense to other people. And by other people, I mean those people that had nothing to do with this whatsoever. You were just gossiping, or at least they won't gossip. Don't do that. It's no longer a topic of conversation. So I'm not going to bring it up to the person that offended me. I'm not going to bring it up in casual conversation or gossip. And then here's the final thing: if I've really forgiven, I won't bring it up to myself. I won't let that thing come back up in my life and control me and cause me all kinds of anxiety and all of those things. In other words, I'm done with it. Then that way, when I do encounter that person or they encounter me, it's peace and healing that we're seeking. We're not starting the process all over again. Listen, This has been your midweek micro message, our conclusion on forgiveness. I'm going to say it one more time as we wrap up uh, this series. Take the opportunity to forgive while you have the chance. Listen, as always, you're welcome to worship with us up here on the hill. We have stuff going on up here all the time. And we're really trying to reach the community because that's where our heart is. And that's what we're commanded to do. Sunday mornings, 10 a.m., you can catch us on YouTube. Just look for our channel, New Spring Hill. If you've been a Facebook follower, just look for the link. You can catch us there. But we would really love to see you in person. I hope this series has been helpful to someone that's struggling with the process to forgive. Don't bring it up to them. Don't bring it up to other people. Don't bring it up to yourself. We'll see you next time.